Hello and welcome everybody to this edition of Angora Poets World Cafe. I'm Mo Seeger, and yes, I'm a poet, one among several tonight who are going to impress you with their memorable work, different styles, some reading in a second language, and different themes, and that's what we do. We're the World Cafe. So welcome. You will be seeing this, no doubt, on our news feeds and on our YouTube channel, and welcome again to listen to this very good group of poets. So this is October 31st. Boo. Trick or treat. I think we're going to get some treats tonight. You know that? Some treats. So let's get this event started by going over to Brooklyn, New York, inviting on our poet, musician, and Angoma Hill. You're on Angoma.
He's from Harlem.
Angoma, you're muted. We aren't hearing you. You're muted.
There you go. Actually, I'm from Harlem.
I thought everybody was from Brooklyn. What do I know?
Nah, man.
No, everybody ain't from Brooklyn. So I got this book coming out soon. The title of the book is I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance, a poetic memoir. And I thought I'd just do some stuff from one particular chapter since we were all talking about Vietnam and the wars and shit. So this chapter is called my sunny backpacking trip through sunny Southeast Asia. And one thing about this forum is I get to experiment with different stuff. So here we go. Thanks for listening. Real war stories. I spent the years of 68 and 9 backpacking through sunny Southeast Asia, smoking the best Cambodian red and sleeping with the stars as my canopy. Loaded for bear, I could kill anything walking. I sipped strawberry wine from Docto, packed in red mail bags from Pleiku, pumped from chopper pads where helicopter blades fanned the stench of burning shit and diesel oil in the air. I slept on mountainsides so steep, you had to dig a shelf in Mother Earth to keep from rolling down the hillside. Drank crystal meth and listened to the stars all night. Mountain yard drums kept me company between mortar fire. Mother Earth became my lover as we hugged her for safety, submitting to her rhythms as tracer rounds filled up the darkness. It's strange the power that you feel when everyone is armed. Sad to think it's necessary. Take a ride with me on a chopper, feet dangling out the doors, swooping above the trees, flying like a bird. Makes you think you're God till the VC shoots you down with an AK-47. Fill your pipe with morning dew with a pinch of opium. Makes breakfast taste better. Meatballs and beans cooked over C4, stolen from a Claymore mine. crackers, canned peaches, and peanut butter to start the day. A cold beer buried in the ground overnight. A cool cigarette sent from home. Breakfast of champions. It's 100 degrees in the shade of banana trees. The grass in Ankei is manicured by a water buffalo, leaving clots of shit to maneuver around. The pimps bring women, weed, whiskey, bangles, and anything you can imagine on the backs of their mopeds. Ancient versus future, ice cold Coca-Cola, $1.
Okay. Thanks for opening up. Applause meter. Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Did that cold beer remain cold in the morning when you dug it up?
yeah.
Sure.
Well, not
Okay.
cold like it was in the refrigerator, but it was cold. 'Cause,
Okay.
the rest of the day it was like 80, 90, 100 degrees. So
Yeah.
anything cool
Okay.
was cold. But that's what.
All right. Number 2, Angora.
True. That's true. I don't know what number 2 is. Let's try this. Just a second. Sorry. Where I come from. Oh, okay. I said I was gonna read from this one chapter, so I'm sorry. Grunt. I keep getting compliments on this picture, and I keep asking why. Funny thing is how old photos lie, like this one, how everybody's got their own idea of what was really going on, like we should be proud to protect our country while struggling for human rights. I never saw it that way. I was drafted. I didn't volunteer. It wasn't my idea to go to a strange land, hunt down the locals, and kill them. After all, the whole deal was a lie. There never was a threat to US soil, only diamonds, opium, and oil to protect. Most GIs never knew why. Here's the real picture. Tet was over. We'd already lost the war. Most of the time we spent looking for the mighty NVA, but they'd already hit and run. As we sat on fire bases in the mountains of Pleiku, Shorty from Carolina singing, sitting on the dock of the bay, till the night he got hit by shrapnel and medevaced away, guarding ghosts in bunkers that the VC with an AK-47 and a bowl of rice had overrun, riding dragons wearing sandals made of rubber ties by Firestone. We smoked gold from Cambodia with a sip of strawberry wine, waiting for the monsoon to stop, to run search and destroy patrols, checking out bomb craters where the first care fought hand to hand, thinking Fat Sam had the upper hand, but I wasn't down with all that. Follow me, I'm infantry jive. I was with the brothers that resisted and stayed alive. We organized the write-in vote for Dick Gregory's Peace and Freedom Party, shared Black Panther papers and Muhammad Speaks so our spirits could survive, poured libations to Ogun, always united, raising the black fist, listening to Curtis sing, keep on pushing, Marvin crooning, what's going on, giving dap and flipping scripts, giving patriotism a twist. We knew who the real enemy was. They never called us nigger.
Okay. Righteous.
Uh,
And now, 3's a charm, Angora.
This is called Sister Soldiers. It wasn't really about me, but it's about women in the army. Sister soldiers, mothers, daughters, serving their time on the front line, pledged allegiance to blood-splattered banners, breed more ghosts than previous battles due to economic drafts and lying ads who tell them to be all that they can be. So they sign in blood on the dotted line, blood being the perfect symbol, surrendering to the eagle to be prey like fresh meat to a beast emerging from their battle buddy. When you realize your only friend is your gun and knife, your male compatriots with whom you stand and fight see you as a hoe, a bitch, or a dyke, because real women ain't supposed to fight. So when you report them, you're accused of lies, and the brass tries to disguise the truth like it's your fault. So you're less afraid of mortar rounds than the fellas you eat with each day, and you stay strapped just to go to the latrine or pray. They say you're just eye candy, replacing the prostitutes in Vietnam, but you're a machine gunner with 2 Purple Hearts on the 2nd tour in a combat zone, being abused and disrespected a long way from home. Now, I'm sure you don't want to know why this story is being told by a man. The answer is simple: because I care and I can. Postscript: in today's US Army, 30% of women have been raped, 71% physically assaulted, and 90% sexually harassed.
Ooh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Truth telling. Thank you, Angora.
Thank y'all.
And,
Platform.
Truth
as
and
a,
nothing but the truth.
from someone who was there.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And about women in the service, I watched a special on YouTube about Russian women who were drafted to operate artillery and
Okay.
flying reconnaissance planes over Nazi lines. And they were award-winning, and they suffered the same thing as you're talking about in Nam.
Okay.
When they were done, they were told to get back in the kitchen.
Right.
But yeah, they were holding artillery positions against the German assault on Stalingrad and got medals for it. No,
Wow.
and then flew airplanes when the Russians said women can't fly planes, especially in the battle. They proved to be very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so next up, we're gonna move back over here to Paris, France, and invite Bill Strangmeyer on. And Billy, you are on.
Thank you, Mo. Okay, a quote from John Donne. A fancy, a chimera in my brain troubles me in my prayer. This is called Dambala and Ayeda. I tell my hope to a fetish I met in a castle room far off from here, but the answers are rare and objectives not held to be just, it seems. I've no ambition for the usual longings, money, power, fame, just jazzing around. From childhood, some reverence weakened was pumped into mind. The Disneyland whisper, be good, was spread on pomade thick. An Isnakine creed deforming the struggle an ancient rebel once lived. I try to rise above my manipulated once incarnate past without much hope. Looking out an isolated window, I see flying rats and insects kept at bay by crows. I hope the ravens and the prairie dogs will join the cause of honesty and joy, but how could seeking justice, happiness, and humor end the garbage storm? Non sequiturs infest, and what we're told in childhood keeps us bound. To seek relief in other certitudes emerges from the residue of breach and trust. The ghost that haunts the everywhere of mind and personality and faith, laid on the world by Simon Peter's henchmen through the empire's gift of ill, now justifies the lowest unbeliever's stark perversion of the noble chthonic graft. And what they paint as primitive or evil, stupid, childish wrong can live again. The world is old, much older than our kindergarten management of lore allows. The liberation is the cause held back and fought against in jurisdictions of the crooks, the worst of whom all claim their right to theft, long pig, and rape and torture as a gift that comes from God or gods unseen except by them and their chuckling gangs. I dream the knowledge of the overcome, the witchery and juju of the lost who've seen that everything is in this world. The other side is not that far away. The magic's natural and here. The steward, merchant, cop deny and scoff because they do not live in life. Nor we, I think.
Okay. Wake up call. Number 2, Bill.
Okay. What was the one? Okay, this is a quote from an English band called Publicist UK from a song called Levitate the Pentagon. The line is, burn the witches from your eyes, you said, you swore you saw it rise. Multiverse. I see the colored bubbles round your heads, the auras, as they say, the way I see the magic of the wizards and the witches in our midst. And why the colors, why the grades, instinctive ranks perceived? We are as if an army, chimpanzees, baboons with angels scattered here and there. And some can manage human lives and hope to live in neither camp. But still, we've got this ill-mixed blend of ill-matched universes thrown in together, hodgepodge into comedy and farce, where wrestlers court witches and boxers rival with the warlocks, and barbaric universe of sects fights magic. Now reduced to glances, glares, and gossip, still producing, though, results. And here are the overlords using more effective magic to enforce their rule. The stupid rift of black and white, the misplaced boundary of rich and poor, the entertainment industry of hypnotizing screens that form our attitudes, invade our thoughts and tell us what is right and what is wrong, that bosses don't need no stinking badges, replace the beauty of imagery, myths, and ads for kings, that sex is bad and cars are all the beauty we can have, that smiling is default. The subtlety of difference is what the new and angry proletariat can't see, and that is just political, a way of saying, do not laugh at me, don't mock. The material core of being seeks a unity, betrayed by ever-present criminals and fools. The energy of identity expands, repulsive and obsessed with powering a void, with Lebensraum and evidence of strength, illusionary, vulgar, hating style and grace, and loving bogus order, fake adventure, history concocted and fake myth, the dark. And we mere humans muddle through like Englishmen of cliche and of myth, invisible to other real worlds, other truths, and hopefully to epaulets and Huns. But as the cycle turns, there's little to be done. The hedonist's the hero here. Resistance to recruitment by the military clowns is all that one can hope, if magic's now co-opted and we cannot make our own to levitate the Pentagon.
Okay. All right. I remember that they formed a circle around it, right?
They didn't get to close the circle. It was broken.
Okay.
That's why it stayed put.
Okay. All right. Okay, Bill, three's the charm.
Okay, a quote from Alistair Cook. Like a christening, a wedding, a graduation ceremony, a holy war, a revolution, even a fireworks display, a gaudy promise of what life ought to be, not life itself. It's called Holy War. Is there a growth to be claimed, to be crowed, to cry? Elaboration towards some God or into God, God's mind? Or is it just submission, slavish to a tyrant like a fool, as if a skybound tyrant really cared, a Mother Earth were kind, caressed maternally, the Joker pulled a punch? The mastery of divinity is what we fools all try to carry out until we hit the wall put up by what is greater than ourselves, inhuman it, the careless monster all, aloof, indifferent, and vast, and everywhere untamable except by God is love. The flip side song within the soul awakened to the aria, the jingle and the chant tuned to a million tones, a million modes. This is deep inside us and is also everywhere, syntectic at a cause, and proves a monster when misused by will or wish to rule. If God you seek, you would do well to look behind the mask that everyone, that meretricious fool, has taught you how to wear, to softly love the earth, yourself, the different, and all the rest. The child can manage, unlike all the dead men waving swords, who need so badly comfort in the vile and reeking soldier's grave, and may each find an end the which they seek and so selectively deserve.
Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
All right. There's a wake-up call. William Washington, can you hear us? Hello, William Washington, you're muted.
He just sent a message saying that he can't read because he's feeling unwell.
Oh, okay then. Sorry about that, William. Stay with us and come back next week feeling better so that you can read. Okay. All right, and we'll say hello to Jack Cooper. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Mo. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Well, yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, nice to be seen. Nice to see all of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
we
Hi,
are,
Dad.
Oh, Benedicta.
I missed you.
A long time no see or hear. No Zoom.
Yeah, a long time no see.
Yeah.
You need to be coming more often.
Yeah.
We missed you loads.
Oh, me too. I've missed you loads. Loads and loads. In fact, now there are loads off my mind.
Oh, really? Welcome back.
Thank you.
okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, Benedicta, we're going to move on now to our next poet, everybody, hailing from Long Island. I think I got this one right. And he is our physics professor, mathematician, yes, mathematician, and poet in his own right. So let's bring on Martin Rosick. Martin, you're on.
Thank you. Am I unmuted? Yes. All right. I'm going to start with the poem that I've read it here once before. So I'm going to start with the poem that I submitted to the collection. And where do I have it here? Yes. It's a translation from Czech. It's by Jiří Volker, who was born in 1900 and died in 1924, just shortly before his 24th birthday and 25th birthday. And it was his reaction shortly after World War I to seeing the vast cemetery in Zagreb. It's called Mirigoj. That's the name of the cemetery and it's the name of the poet. Do you want me to read it in English and in Czech or just in
Sure.
English?
Please read in English first and then follow in Czech. That'll be fine.
So it's from a collection called The Grave Hour, Mirigoj. In Zagreb's cemetery, Mirigoj, my eye lost sight of the sweet southern land. In Zagreb's cemetery, in my eye, only thousands of wooden crosses stand, crosses all the same, their sameness the same as the deaths the soldiers killed in battle die. Their crossed arms, now of wood, bound at the wrist, grabbed and carried me, I could not resist, and marched through the world with those underground ranks, into graves drenched in lime, each under a wilted name, where only the bodies of the fallen remain. Deeper, ever deeper I sank, and each of the dead pressed against me, beseeching, grieving, and each of the dead cried, tell me, you, the still living, tell me, why have I died? Roots through blossoms can grasp the light. The dead through the living will learn why. For king, for country, for all things one can fight, but not for everything should one die. O you French and Russian, Czech and German dead, into my palm you place a bequest of graves and blood. I pray over it, may it become wine and bread, revive in my fists, blossom forth. And your question, as grave and glorious as a bell, I hang in my chest as high as I can lift. By God's command alive with the living, I will live your living question. Oh, you dead from all the fronts of the earth. So.
Wow, from the grave, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminds me a little bit of, you know who I'm thinking of, the World War I poet.
No.
That's embarrassing. I'm having a senior moment.
Sassoon.
No, the one who died. Most famous one.
What, not Joyce Kilmer. Well, okay.
One of his poems, the poem it reminds me of is his poem called Strange Meeting.
Okay.
Where he imagines meeting one of the people he killed.
Mm.
Oh, yes. The British poet.
Yeah, Dulce decorum est, sorry,
Yeah. Oh, God.
it's
what's his
another one
name?
of his poems.
Right.
I can't
I
imagine.
can't think of it either.
It's
I'm having a junior moment.
Okay, here,
I don't
here's.
know. I don't know. I'm having a moment.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a moment. It's going to drive me crazy.
Dolce et decorum
Oh.
est. Okay. Oh my God.
Wilfred Owen.
Wilfred Owen.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Good.
yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Well, for on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
So here's the same poem in Czech. Mirigoj. Na záhradském hřbitově na Mirigoji z očí se sloupla mý jižní sladká zem. Na záhřebském hřbitově tisíci křížů stojí. Ty jediné v očích svých udržel jsem. Ty kříže dřevěné, tak stejné, jak stejná je smrt vojáků zabitých v boji. Zdřevněné ruce, spoutané v zápěstí, mě dovedly urvat a daleko unestí. S armádou podzemní světem jsem mašíroval, do hrobu politiých vápnem, na nimiž jména zvadla a zůstala jenom těla ve válce světové padlá. Hluboko jsem propadal a každý mrtvý se přitiskl ke mně jako hlas úpěnlivý a každý mrtvý se ptal, pověz mi, živý, proč jsem umíral? Kořeny v květech mohou slunce uchopit. Mrtví v živém se doví, proč pad. Pro krále vlasti, pro vše je možno se být, ne pro všechno lze však umírat. O mrtvé z Rus, Němec, Čech a Francie, dlaně mě kládáte dědictví hrobů a krve. Modlím se nad ním, ať v pěstích mých ožije, ať na chleb a na víno zkvetá a otázku vaší těžkou a slavnou jak zvon, co možno nejvyšše v hrudi své zavěšují a rozkazu Božího živí s živými žít budují. Živou otázku vaší, o mrtví ze všech front světa.
Thank you, Martin. And we need to bring Prince back in the room. He's in the waiting room. He got
Oh
disconnected.
dear, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You were reading and he got disconnected.
Yeah.
It's the Zoom thing. Okay, Prince is back.
Okay.
Okay, so now your next poem, Martin.
Yes, so my next poem is a strange one. I searched quickly, but I couldn't find the actual link which has the information. But there was a French priest. I think his name may have been Jean Leclerc, but I'm not sure. During one war, I think it was in connection with the Crusades, he sent orders. There were nuns who were living in cloisters, and he would send orders for them to pray for certain things that he wanted to happen. They were sort of prayer factories. And among the things he asked them to pray for was that a particular war wouldn't end too quickly, because he wanted the enemy, full opportunity to destroy the enemy. When I read about this, I don't remember where, I found that pretty shocking. And so here, this poem is an imagined letter from, I've made his name Joseph, so I may have the first name wrong. Maybe it was, I don't know what it was. I unfortunately didn't keep the reference. So it's an imagined letter from Joseph to the convent. It's called Orders. My most esteemed Antoinette, sister in God, I pray this letter finds you in good health and that those strange accounts spread about of hunger driving the wolves from the woods to vie with our cruel and savage enemies for the meager flesh of the dead have not sullied the gentle ears of your wards at Our Lady of Calvary. For the ever greater glory of God and the liberation of the Holy Lands from the infidel Turks, the sisters, true brides of Christ, are to offer 4 full days of prayer for the longer duration of our most righteous war, lest victory come too quickly and our enemies are not utterly destroyed. After the completion of these prayers, a mere half day of intercession on behalf of our Swedish and Dutch allies should suffice. Further guidance in the spiritual matters of the substance of prayer will follow. Flour for your ovens is arriving shortly. Humbly yours in God, Father Joseph. And
That guy should have been excommunicated.
Mo, did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay. And the last one, I've never read. This is based on, it's a song. Unfortunately, I can't sing or compose, so I don't have a melody for it. Maybe someone will do that for me. It's based on my grandfather. It's a family story. He was drafted into World War I and had this is my mother's father, and he had an absolutely horrible time there. And we don't know details except he was wounded several times and lost the hearing in one ear. And when he came back, he apparently went to discuss, we don't know what, but we assume his experiences with the rabbi, and stormed out and never set foot in a synagogue or temple again. And officially left the religion. And this version has been transposed to so this song is based on that, and it's kind of naive because it's a song, and it's been transposed into a Christian context, but not explicitly. It actually doesn't. It's just says priest rather than rabbi, but otherwise it's universal. It's called God is a Serial Killer. Victor was sent to war when he was 17. He returned and asked the priest to explain what he'd seen. The minister shook his head. I see it shaking still. Yours is not to question, but to celebrate God's will. God is a serial killer. Since the first prayer was said, every single true believer has ended up dead. I was looking in the paper. I was shocked by what I read. A maniac took some girls and shot them in the head. The father of one victim, a quiet bearded man, said, "Do not grieve, for I know it's part of God's plan." God is a serial killer. Since the first prayer was said, every single true believer has ended up dead. God is a serial killer. You better know it's true. You may run, but it won't matter. He's going to kill you. Remember the tsunami, whole towns were swept away. The priests and the imams said, mysterious is his way. I'd rather die by accident than be murdered by some creep. He must be one sick monster. How does the asshole sleep? God is a serial killer. Since the first prayer was said, every single true believer has ended up dead. God is a serial killer. You better know it's true. You may run, but it won't matter. He's going to kill you. Victor, don't believe no more. Victor, don't believe no more.
Wow. Okay. I gotta say that takes some chutzpah to come out with a poem like that these days. So many of the young generation doing pop songs to Jesus. I remember asking somebody the same question. They said, God loves you. You're very special. You're made in the image of God. I said, well, how come I don't look like my neighbor? Which one of us is in the image of God? And he wanted to slap me. And then I said, if God loves me and God loves everybody, yes, he does. Where was he at Auschwitz? Where was he in the Middle Passage? Where was he for the Native Americans? And they just bit their lower lip. We ended like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So was that number 3, Martin?
Yeah, that was
Well, that was somewhat of a charm. Yo, I bet you're gonna get some eyebrows raised when this comes out on recording, and perhaps duly so. Okay, so next up on the line here is we're gonna go to New York City, and this time we are gonna be in Brooklyn, and we're gonna introduce Prince McNally. Hello, Prince.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, okay. This first piece is called "Move." It's sort of a COVID piece. I wrote it this past April. It's the 17th of April, 2021. Nearly 5 months since we've embarked upon this new year, this new paradigm. And while some of us may have sprinted across its threshold, others have merely crawled, which is quite an accomplishment when you consider how deathly tumultuous the past year has been in regard to COVID-19 and all the lives it has claimed, all the pain, depression, and anxiety born out of loss and fear. The fear of what may lie ahead for the future. When you consider the drastic toll of social distancing coupled with the impact of being isolated from our loved ones on our psyches, notwithstanding the inability to make a living as a direct result of the virus, many have lost their lives, their loved ones, their jobs, their marriages, and their homes. Many have lost the ability to cope with the day-to-day pressures of this new phenomenon, this new reality of working from our homes, remote schooling for our children, notwithstanding the recent presidential election and the daunting possibility of 4 more tumultuous years of Trump, which is more than enough to drive any sane person to the brink of insanity. I doubt there's anyone on this planet who hasn't been profoundly affected by this virus in some way, shape, or form. The spoils of 2020 have touched us all, and its ghosts shall haunt us for many years to come. In retrospect, I am ever grateful to have survived its wrath and for every new day, let alone every new year, for our every breath is but a bridge to the future, a new beginning, an opportunity to spawn new ideas, creating new paradigms. I pray that we may learn from the horrors of the past and yet not be anchored to it. Let us re-energize our minds to reimagine the possibilities of the future. Let us persevere beyond this chaos as opposed to succumbing to it. May we be inspired by it, allowing its flame to set our asses on fire, because there's nothing like an ass on fire, for it compels you to move.
Wow. Okay. Every breath is a bridge to the future. I like that. I like that very much.
Thank you, bro.
Number 2.
Number two. Okay. This piece is called Fragments of Father Figures. My father, unknown, untitled, a ghost that persistently haunts me, an idealistic fantasy formed within my mind of what a man should be, of what a father should be, of what a husband should be, a blueprint borrowed from observation, mimicking the interaction between my friends and their fathers who were actually there for them. It didn't matter if they weren't perfect. I just wanted one. I raised my children with a philosophy primarily based on fictionalized fragments of father figures from sitcoms that made you laugh and sometimes made you cry, often leaving a lifelong lesson to ponder. Like Good Times and The Cosby Show, James Evans and Heathcliff Huxtable, my first up-close examples of what a Black father looked like, what a black husband looked like. Aside from my late great uncle Spocky, a wise and gentle man who ruled with a firm hand, I modeled myself after these men who were strong, wise, loving, and supportive. All the things I've lacked but wished I had growing up. I pray that despite my shortcomings, that I was a decent enough father to my children, that I had imparted enough wisdom about life that they'll be able to survive in this world without me.
Okay. Okay. Have any of your children listened to that poem?
No, this is something, this is my first time reading this piece.
Oh, okay.
So
All right,
yeah.
Prince. Okay, well, we're ready for Three's a Charm.
Okay, I'm going to do a short one. This piece was recently published in Lothlorien Press. I think I said it wrong.
Lothlorien, yeah, Lothlorien.
Lothlorien, yeah, they're a good
Strider
press.
Marcus Jones.
Check
Yes.
them out. They're really good.
Well, I've introduced them to Angora, and a lot of us have, some of us have published with them already.
Oh, dope.
Yes.
Funeral musings. The pastor stands proudly perched behind the podium, preaching a sad sermon. Soliloquy of holy hymns sung by a choir over organ ground gospel music. Tears, flowers, glory hallelujahs, and long-winded eulogies. A corpse in a coffin on display like a mannequin.
Woo. Okay. Woo. In and out of here quick.
Don't ask me where that came from, man. I just said funeral musings, you know.
Talk about get off when you're hot. Okay, Prince, very good. We'll be looking forward to your upcoming edition, your collection, which you say you're going to turn in a week or so.
Yeah, but that stuff wasn't from there, though. That stuff was not that.
But on your collection, we're going to hold you to that rumor that you're going to submit it in a week or so.
Oh my God, you said this with Jack here?
Yeah, and and Roxanne has ears everywhere.
Exactly. No worries,
Okay.
no worries, no worries. We do what we must do.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so thank you, Prince. And now we shall return to Paris, and we will come here to our trilingual poet, Carolina.
But let's begin with a poem. It's between a poem and a fairy tale. It can be a sort of answer to complete the poem of Martin about God serial killer. It's a story about refugees, Spanish refugees, on a beach in France. La retirada happened in winter, a very, very cold winter, and people were parked in beaches under snow, with no water, no heat, nothing to warm, and French soldiers didn't take off the dead bodies out of the beach, so it was quite awful.
Which period, which year span did this tragedy take place?
This happened in I think it was in 39, just before the World War.
Okay, the Spanish Civil War.
Really at the end of the Spanish War, Spanish Civil War.
Okay, we're ready.
So, and it's about a little girl on a beach, begins to see well, Mary, the Virgin. So it's about that. And it's in French. Il était une fois une petite fille. Elle habite avec sa famille dans une grande et belle ville. Un matin, c'est la guerre qui arrive. Des hommes et des femmes défilent dans les rues. Ils se tirent dessus. Ils chantent des chansons partisanes. Les camps se forment. Les gens s'insultent, se méfient les uns des autres. Ils ont peur. Ils ont froid. Ils ont faim. Ils font la queue pendant des heures. Les vivres sont rationnés. L'école a été bombardée. De toute façon, la petite est plus utile à aller faire la queue. On traite mieux les enfants. Eux ont plus de chances d'obtenir quelque chose. Un matin, sa mère l'habille le plus chaudement possible et les voilà partis sur les routes. La ville est sur le point d'être envahie. Elle fuit. Elle marche, de jour, de nuit, elle marche longtemps. Les avions survolent le long cortège, les gens se jettent au sol. Ils ont peur, froid, faim. Chacun tient serré contre lui son baluchon, un maigre paquet des quelques objets qui leur restent de leur vie passée. Ils ne reviendront pas. Ils ne le savent pas encore. Ils n'y pensent pas. Le froid les aide à oublier une mort tellement fort. Mais voilà arrivés à la frontière. Des hommes dans d'autres uniformes les dépouillent de leurs bagages. Il ne leur reste rien. Ils séparent les hommes des femmes. Famille éclatée. Solidarité, la famille de larmes et de sang versés, ils sont trop nombreux, la petite se perd. Elle est emportée par la foule. Tout le monde est mélangé, beaucoup d'hommes, quelques femmes, quelques enfants qui jouent. Et voilà sur une plage, à attendre. Quoi? Qui? Pas d'eau, pas de vivres. Tout autour, vers la terre, des barbelés. La petite joue. Elle se fabrique une classe de sable. Parfois, une maman et un papa aussi. Ça fait trop triste. Pendant la nuit, le vent disperse les grains, ça fouette le visage. Elle met son mouchoir dessus pour ne pas que ses larmes gèlent à ses paupières. Elle a de la fièvre. Elle délire de plus en plus. À l'aube du 3e jour, elle voit un bateau venir à elle. Une femme et son enfant, en compagnie d'une belle femme à la peau sombre comme la nuit, mettent pied à terre. Là où leurs pieds frôlent le sable, la neige disparaît. Elles viennent vers elle. Elles sont venues les chercher, les plus âgés, les plus fatigués, ceux au cœur brisé par le chagrin et qui ne peuvent plus continuer, qui n'ont plus la force de s'accrocher. Chaque nuit, elles viennent les chercher et les accompagner dans un pays ensoleillé, plein d'amour, au ciel bleu parsemé de beaux nuages aux formes rigolotes et au sable doux et chaud, dans lequel on peut jouer à enterrer ses pieds pour sentir quand ça fait frais. Un pays où il fait bon mourir en paix. Le pays au-delà de la mer dans le ciel, une mer de lait doux et crémeux. Au matin, la petite sourit dans son sommeil. La fièvre est tombée. Elle se nourrit de rêves. Elle n'a plus peur. Elle sait que lorsqu'elle sera trop fatiguée pour se réveiller, elle ne sera pas seule. Les belles dames seront là pour venir la chercher. Alors, la journée, elle sourit, elle joue, elle chante, et ça réchauffe le cœur de ceux qui commençaient à perdre espoir. Ça fait du bien d'entendre ainsi le rire d'une enfant. Ils sourient un peu. Ça les réchauffe, ça fait du bien. Certains ont un pincement au cœur, ils se souviennent de leurs enfants. Et aujourd'hui, où sont-ils donc? Elles passent de l'un à l'autre, et quand ils pleurent, quand ils ont peur, elle leur parle des belles dames qu'elle a vues passer la nuit. Certains ont honte. Ils pensent qu'ils ne méritent pas leur amour. Ils croient les avoir trahis. Face à la mort, face à la peur, elles sont là pour tous. Elles ne font pas de différence. Il suffit de les aimer. Il suffit de les appeler et elles sont là, douces et aimantes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Happy endings are happy endings.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, Caroline.
Well, it's it's another sort of answer to another poem of Martin about a cemetery. It's about my grandpa Graves, Craven Britain. Maman m'a prise dans ses bras et m'a serrée très fort pour ne pas sentir la tristesse remonter dans ses yeux. J'ai triste à maman dedans. Papa est pas là. Tout le monde pleure autour. J'aimerais bien qu'elle me pose par terre. Tu commences à avoir mal au cœur. C'est trop gros pour moi, tout ça. J'avais peur derrière la porte en rentrant du pain tout à l'heure, mais finalement, je crois que j'ai encore plus peur maintenant. C'est plus maman, c'est plus personne. C'est comme si elles étaient toutes changées en fontaine. Je suis sage, je dis rien. J'ai pas de doudou. J'ai pas besoin, je suis celui de ma maman. Chez mamie, ce matin-là, il y a le rire qui s'est cassé. Maintenant, ça fait qu'à grincer et piquer. Papy est parti et l'a laissée toute seule avec mes tantes. Elle s'est fâchée contre lui. Moi, je sais bien qu'il n'a pas fait exprès. Maman dit qu'il est resté 3 ans au lieu de 3 mois et que comme ça, il a eu le temps de me connaître un peu. Je l'ai toujours connu au lit, mon papy. Il était fatigué de lutter contre la maladie. Mais ses yeux pétillaient fort et il avait un beau sourire quand il me regardait, un peu triste. J'aime bien aller sur la tombe de papy. C'est comme un jour de fête. On met des beaux habits, on prend la voiture, on achète des fleurs. Là-bas, il y a même un petit arrosoir pour les enfants pour que moi aussi je puisse nettoyer la tombe. J'aime bien. Après, ça brille. C'est tout beau. Sur la tombe de papy, mes tantes et mamie, elles ont l'air tout gentilles. Ça fait tout doux dans leur regard et même que personne ne crie. Et puis on va reposer les arrosoirs, on repart à la voiture, un peu triste. On aurait presque envie de pleurer, presque. Alors, ma tante trouve une méchanceté à dire pour rompre la trêve de fête. Une petite pique et l'air de rien, et ça repart. J'aurais bien aimé rester avec le gardien du cimetière, avec ses fleurs et toutes ses tombes à faire briller. Un grand jardin pour moi, puis papy. Et le gardien et plein de petits cailloux dans les allées pour pas me perdre. À la maison, il n'y a plus que de la tristesse et de l'absence partout. Faut rien bouger. Rien ne doit changer, sinon mamie, elle crie. Maintenant que j'ai grandi, maman ne me prend plus jamais dans ses bras. Dans ses mains, il y a toujours un livre. Quand on est chez mamie, maman lit. Partout, tout le temps. Même au lit ou devant la télé. On est toutes bien sages, assises en rang sur le canapé avec des livres, des aventures plein la tête et des chaussons fourrés aux pieds. On tue le temps en attendant que ça passe. Les vacances. Et c'est la rentrée. Délivrance.
OK. OK. C'est la vacance. OK, three's a charm, Caroline.
No, that's fine. It's one in Spanish, the short one. I already read it several times here, but I like it, and it's short. Let's go to Valencia. Anochecer en la selva valenciana, mezada por la mecedora y el canto de las ranas, cerca de la orilla del mar y de la del río, combato los mosquitos por bofetadas. La abuela vigila un dragón valiente que explora el techo blanqueado con cal. Que no entre a comer las sábanas. Flock. Uy, se cayó.
Okay. Okay. Never know what language you're going to come with. Great. That's great, Caroline. Keep us abreast. Multilingual. That's great. There's 2 of you up here tonight that are multilingual. Well, at least bilingual. All right. So next, we are going to Accra in Ghana, and we're going to call on Benedicta. Hello, Benedicta.
Hi, Mo.
Hey, Benny.
I've been listening to everyone. Everything has gone on well. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. Am I that clear?
Hmm?
I'm
Am
great.
I clear?
How are you, Benedicta? How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm so good. Thank you so much.
Oh, I didn't know you were on. I was rather asking if my sound is clear, but I didn't know you were on. I hope you're good.
What a good accident. That's great.
Okay, so I take the first one.
Okay.
I read an iteration, the Antioch of benevolence, hastened and frantic, an altruistic sequelae of the peninsula. You are neither here nor there, the oracles of a scaffolding past. That's the first one.
Okay. Now that was brief, and we like you to read that again, please, with these brief ones. Please read again,
Okay.
Benedicta.
Okay, that's fine. An iteration, the Antioch of benevolence, hastened and frantic, an altruistic sequelae of the peninsula. You are neither here nor there, the oracles of a scaffolding past. That's
Wow.
about it.
The oracles of a scar holding past. Okay. Number 2, Benedicta. Okay.
Okay, so the second one is, it was stated by Nelson Mandela when he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And I read, let it never be said by future generations that indifference, cynicism, or selfishness made us fail to live up to the ideals of humanism, which the Nobel Peace Prize encapsulates. Let the strivings of us all prove Martin Luther King Jr. to have been correct when he said that humanity can no longer be tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war. That's the second one.
This no longer be bound to the starless midnight. That's great. So
Thank
that's a
you.
total quote of Mandela. That is a total quote of Nelson Mandela.
Yes, please.
Okay. And 3's a charm, Benedicta.
Okay. So I'm going to read one of my monokus for the third one. And I read, an exclamation of recognition and composure. I take it again, an exclamation of recognition and composure. That's the monoku for the third one.
Okay. Well, thank you. And good that your signals held up tonight.
Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that I was going to hold through, because the other time there was a cut, so I wasn't able to join the second round, but I'll stay till the second.
Good. So how are things going in Accra for you this week?
I'm not in Accra. I'm currently in Sunyani with my parents.
Oh, you're back home. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you liking the visit?
Sorry?
Everything well with your family?
Yes. Everything is fine.
Okay.
They are doing good. I had to come and
Oh.
see them because it had been a long time since I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
It has always been work at the hospital, work. So I had to come and see them.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, good for you. Good to see you again. Okay.
Same here.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to come to Paris with we're going to come to Paris with Jack Cooper and his poetry right now. Jack, you're on.
Okay, I've been reading in an old notebook, and I was going to begin with something that I wrote in Costa Rica. but I see that just above it is the sketch for a poem that I eventually wrote called Put Your Ruby Slippers On, which I dedicated to James Brown.
Oh,
An island always obtains in paradise, if only that far. A line up ahead, virtual as the horizon, brilliance simmering down on its luck, brightening hope amounted to another day,
mm,
visible behind, caudate like a dinghy, or you on water skis. This boat eventually leads home. Every lightning bolt shall show it, immovable amid the flux, assured above the tide, throughout the forest, evergreen.
mm. Okay. All right. Costa Rica, huh?
Costa Rica.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got that idea in Costa Rica, but then I
San Juan?
Sorry?
San Juan, Costa Rica?
No,
Was it
I was
San
in,
Jose?
and then I was in, oh, I can't even remember the name of the town, but I was by the sea, by the ocean
Great.
on the Pacific coast.
Uh,
So I did have this one. This was just an entry in my notebook. Watching squirrel monkeys in the trees yesterday, one in particular carefully picking its way among the branches. I thought how similar to thought, their tentative movements, and that open air and open mind do indeed possess a lattice, like the leaves themselves and tiny expatiations of the pith.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Jack. Short and sweet and
Yeah.
deep. Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so
well, here's, are you on now, Lydia?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. Zoom happens. Okay, welcome. And Jack is about to read Three's a Charm.
yeah. Okay, so this is a rather well, I'll just read it. This is another. This is from San Juan or San Jose. Sorry. It's the only way I can comprehend the difference between you, between us. Nothing else, either she or I, because it was she from whom I learned, knows, bridges that ubiquitous river between us, the reeve that divides, the final resting place of the unknown. There is therefore no possibility of sharing, mutual consent. All becomes a quest for power, or failing that awareness of its absence. I am so keenly aware of the little points of contact possible between souls at the mouth, tongue, loins, and anus. A refinement of the little sparks begotten in words, a refinement of instinct. It is possible, perhaps, just not very, very. The mystic mix variously believed in the beginning was a space between mother and dad, possible to fill, just not very likely. This space we negotiated singly, thus subtly learning to vary the relation according to others that we met and meet. Also, according to Dad, who occasionally, then permanently, came to intervene, replace, often, Mother, and that we suspected not by any means all. Difference, the stated difference. What is it? A figure in a checkbook? A textbook? Yours and my dick? What may mend the length of our estrangement, the gap of our hearts, mingle our cross-purposed tongues? The ultimate pang and pain of illusion is that one ends up fooling oneself. One cannot accept the reality of oneself.
Whoa, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Which, yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I was on vacation.
Vacation of the mind.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, the reality of the self, that drives a lot of people over the edge when they feel they've perceived the deepest reality of themselves. You know that, right? So many have gone psychotic and suicidal over that. And then there, conversely, there's people who discover their own beauty and self-worth and go the other direction. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an earlier passage that began, "War begins at home," which is, I mean, it sort of opens the impossibility of bridging spaces that finally creates war and loss of hope and cruelty and such. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
that's
well, there it is. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Okay, and now we will stay in Paris with our bilingual poet, who so often, I think almost always, reads in her second language like it's a first language. And that would be Claire Andriani. Hello, Claire.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Great.
Very well.
So happy to see you, Benedicta. It's been a long time.
Yes, where have you been? I've missed you loads, you and Jack.
Really, thank you. Okay. My
You're welcome.
poem is called Mother and Child, and it's about a mother and a child that I always see on the metro. They're from a Syrian family. And I captured their thoughts. In a way, I try to see how they behaved, and I try to capture their feelings and make myself in their skins. So mother and child. She's forced to sit and beg, the woman in darkness. Bodies pass her like walking sticks of different colors, and yet she seems to see everything in black, being a slave to her condition. Help me, she cries. Syrian family. These are the only words that she knows in French. Torn from her country at war, she is in the middle, spending her days sitting and hoping. Her baby rests beside her, living in a blur of confusion and disbelief. His wide eyes roll up and to the sides, and he claps his tiny hands that look like two small loaves of bread fresh from the oven. He's probably dreaming of a home, the one he left and the one he's longing for. The imaginary place where he could play finally becoming a child again and not a ghost depending on his mother, who, a ghost herself, depends on strangers. Using her voice like an instrument of pity, blowing the horn of despair. Later, after sitting and begging, she will wander with her son like a widow, mourning her past and sinking into her black and white vision of despair. That's my first one.
Strikingly sad and real.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, number 2, Claire.
This one is much more dreamy. It's about a glimpse I had of the moon among the trees and how it made me feel. So it's called The Moon Among the Trees. The moon speaks to me in forgotten languages, languages of the heart, languages of beauty and contemplation. Behind its tentative clouds, showing it in jealousy, guarding its magnificence for her bride, the sky, in love with it eternally, and ready to hide it at day when it is still there but made invisible to the naked eye, at one end of the globe while other gazers are enjoying it. You see, the moon has always liked to keep its mysteries and not reveal too much. And while a source of light, it hates the sun, his cousin, who is too plain to him. It promises clairvoyance and truth, while the moon is fond of metaphors and practices the power of suggestion, the hidden meaning. It's playing hard to get when all that surrounds it is darkness. It likes to feel essential and whisper meanings, offering trees shadows reflecting on the pavement at night. It elongates the shape like a cousin of daylight, but likes to deceive you and show you what you like. At night, when the leaves are rustling against the windows, children's eyes close, thinking of the light outside, white and icy cool in the midnight obscurity. It is inclined to dream and inspire dreams through its eclectic presence, reminding one of what absence is. Its blue hues seem to evoke the feeling of missing something or someone, of not being enough. It gives a taste of what days are like, but only through a dull imitation. This luminous circle is my eye when I'm asleep, my consciousness resting. The moon presides over the trees among the silver clouds illuminated by its strength. The moon offers a subject to the poet, a sigh to the dreamer, and a light to the explorer.
Okay.
My second
For the moon, always the moon. I think there's more poems in modern culture, of course, written to the moon than to the sun, as you kind of tilt toward the moon versus the sun in this poem. She attracts us in many ways.
It's very Shakespearean.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like an answer to Romeo's, the passage in Romeo and
Wherefore,
Juliet,
yeah, right.
be not
Yeah.
her maid. This
Juliet
one.
is the east. And, there's another Shakespeare quote of the moon that she snatches her pale fire from the sun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's hear Three's a Charm, Claire.
Yes. Okay. Wait. Oh. My third one is called Possible. The purple sky points to beauty. It tells me to look at the skies and admire the firmament as if it was my new home. I look above and grow wings to fly among the clouds. I am not scared to be alone. Below, watching the human race, I see little dots and lies about one's true identity. The hypocrisy of society. It shows like a black smoke and spreads like a disease, sly, enveloping the crowd that looks like the tumult of the ocean, black as night. One mom is at her window, praying for her child. She hopes for days of cleanness, transparency of heart. Everything around her seems to lie, like that wind provoking the quiet wrath of the sea in cruel waves that pretend to erase the past. The sand, noble, submits to the merciless water. All you need is to create silence and let your heart speak. Enough so that you can hear it. Don't be afraid of darkness, for it is there to make it happen. The water erases the trace of the past. Don't dwell in the has, believe in the will. Sand is like your subconscious, invades you until you let it be cleansed. Will is eternal, and the truth awaits, smiling. Your subconscious is a slave to your refusal to remember. Like the remains can be put to light after great winds, the truth unveils in the depth of time. At night, the sun is there, invisible, and yet it is waiting to go to the other side, for the morning to rise, acting like light in our memory. The ocean rises with the moon, like dark memories coming to the surface and facing what was hiding in the sand.
Whoa, okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Your subconscious is a slave to your refusal to remember.
Yeah.
Well, I can identify. I think we all can. It's like, why did that come up in my dream last night? If that was for public view, I'd be like, I don't know, embarrassed, humiliated, confounded, those kind of things. What is it poking me to become more aware of? Or is it poking me for anything meaningful? That whole debate over the meaning of dreams and all that, modern debate anyway. Well, thank you, Claire, and thank you for
so
bringing
much.
up. You're welcome so much.
Well,
Okay. All right. And
Good.
you got the seal of approval. If Benedicta approves, you've got the seal of approval. Thank you, Benedicta. Okay.
Welcome.
All right. And okay, so now we're going to go back to New York. I think it's New York, right, Lydia? Are we in New York with you?
we're in New York. Yes, yes.
We're in New York with you. So welcome back. I want everybody to say hello to Lydia Percy, who's on for her second time now. And we met at a reading. Well, we met online a couple of years ago, and then we met on screen for the National Writers Union. And well, Lydia, welcome, and give us 3 poems, please.
I'll try.
I'll bet you will.
I'll try. Okay. Brooklyn be like layers of thick molasses. Bed-Stuy in my eye was fantastic. We lived in the borough of the churches, seemed like one on every block. Romeo Bearden, colorful collage, bells ringing, the Adhan singing. I call them, no, Mama calls them spirit spinners. Yes, as Mama would say, blessings. Our 2-story walk up the Masjid Attaqwa, Sheikh Dean's hat and dress shop, Moses barber shop. Mama's from Queens and Papa from Harlem, united by Imam Ibrahim in the Masjid Iqbal. Call to prayer, the wadu. Papa and I beside, Mama beyond, hands held up, head down, right over left, head up, recite, bend and bow, finish the salat. The world, this world that I live in, so full of spiritual goodness, I mean hood love, and full of elder storytellers with the best, running up the street to sister's place. And yes, our style, without a doubt, in Brooklyn, being fresh to death. Name the tree, out back, mother tree, my very own 7 sisters, 7 abound and 7 all around, gathering the white sage, so let us burn, get the evil spirits out the house, consecrate drums, Papa stories of Damballa, ready to kick, cuckoo, jump into chunks of cadences, Prospect Park, conga, circle in the dark. Go ahead, Doobie. Go ahead, Doobie. Go low, give it up to the gods. Swing those young feet, sweep across accent space. chorus babies, great Queen Senegalese yielded generations in America. We promised Papa a trip to Mecca. Mama nursed stories to be told while Papa stretched goat skins to be sold, left drying in the Stuyvesant sun. Congas waiting to be blessed. Bless them, garden for our souls where Papa was turning, hoeing hard soil, picking up cracked burnt pipes, smoke pipes and shells, cigarette butts, and tossed pennies left in the dust. Flourished fruits from behind the slave theater, collard greens and tomatoes and potatoes and string beans. Yeah, the 80s were crazy. Mama slept with a 32 automatic just to get us through the night, while Papa, one of the street fighters with the Imam Siraj and Ibrahim and brothers from Takwa, took to the streets of Bed-Stuy for 40 days and 40 nights. The plague of crack was sick, but our community was strong with love and unity. Love the hopscotch on the very block where Spike Lee was filming Crooklyn. Nothing better than Brooklyn. Love the scents and sounds of Labor Day Carnival, Eastern Parkway. Our house full of music and jazz and soul, and my love for hip hop. I couldn't wait to snap my crackle fingers to the pop during the WAP. Visiting my cousins, jumping and skipping in and out of turning loops. First pair of my bamboo hoops, jingling golden shine and Jamaican dancing in Mr. Blake's backyard. Jamaica South Side, back to the crisp streets of Bed-Stuy. See, this is what I did and this is what I saw. I thought we were every place in the world, couldn't be no richer than Brooklyn. Yes, I remember we had Luis Reyes over for dinner along with the brothers from the mosque to talk about the situation. So see, while we were at this circle consecrating the drums, I was born to burn, I was born to pray, and my greeting was always Assalamu alaikum. So what do you say? You say wa alaikum assalam, because we are not from the ghetto. We are from rich soil, turning always. We are the love child of the ghetto, and that is I.
Okay. Thank you. And to your memorable father. Was he Jamaican? Yes.
Oh, no. We were just doing Jamaican dancing in the back, in the backyard in Queens, that's all.
Because you said your father talked about Dambala. And I wonder if he got that from the islands.
Yeah, just basically, they used to do the circle in Prospect Park. And this is through Yasmin's eyes, which is my daughter. And I was Muslim. I took my Shahada in Brooklyn and lived. And so Brooklyn became everything, even though I'm from Queens. And he was from Harlem and he was part of Malcolm X's crew. So he is still a brother who's very much in the movement, and being in Brooklyn really opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and through my daughter. So that was it.
Okay. Number 2, Lydia.
Oh, really? I don't even have it. Wait,
No, I know you got 3 poems.
I don't know, because I was trying so desperately to get on. Okay. Okay. This one's not really finished, but I'll read a little bit. It's called The Mind Medley. Let his music play, not yet, unless freeing those hearts broken. Let them pull up roots that were never rooted and plant his hefty contralto. Melodic enter into a chorus, ears to hear, groan and moan and howl, intensity and groove, move divas into danceteria and red light districts like the Red Parrot or Adam's Red Apple. Inferno confess the flames and float lifted carriages of what they call steopagias, but better yet, Venus Hottentots. They cut loose their bridal caboose and raised her natural ride, determined spirituals, and shouting souls of chord counting Christians, and flood Roseland rhythm chronicles, and dice chips and slam casino tables, able to express yourself. So let his music play and dig deep into the grind of sanctified organ keys and night of the gal detail. Maroon mashing floor and swing swans definitions of Burden's Black Odyssey, and strobe stencil experimental into fatty web, wick trick his sticks clicking drum dribble, wandering through Mobley's keys on the drums instead of train on the piano. No more runs on familiar tracks. Said old caddy for the daddy. I like old things, seasoned and meaty things, intelligent and mystical rings for bells to tell tales and warriors to share. This is what I hear when I hear his music play. You know, that was just something that I did for
Wow.
so I don't know. God,
Yeah.
it was just one of those things. I scrolled out on the train because I was just like, my head was, I was listening to it on my ears. That's what happened. So it was nothing really.
Yeah, as he did dig deep in the grind of the sacred organ keys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Last night I heard a piece by Jimmy Smith I never heard before, and it was just so awesome. Talk about organ.
Oh, phenomenal,
Jimmy Smith. Wow.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I heard a piece last night I had never heard. It was on French radio. It
Mhm.
lifted me.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So now we're going to ask you, Lydia, to do Three's a Charm.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Threes. I don't. Okay, let's see. This is. Hold on, just a second. Trying to work with two different things. I'm gonna get this whole thing correct soon. Okay. Maybe you can come back to me because I can't seem to find it on my screen. Oh yes, I think I have one.
Okay.
I think if it come up for me. Okay. It's not showing, that's why. So, I'll pass.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll be coming on for a second round, not too long from now, and maybe you'll come up with that poem and what you'd like to read. We'll ask you to read, as everybody, 2 poems in the second round.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so now that leaves me, and what I want to do is, where did this go? I want to read a piece that I've been working on with Nursel from Turkey. She's struggling with getting better and better English translations of her Turkish language work. So let me just call her up and show you a piece I don't know why she's not here, but we were online about this for 2 days. So anyway, now here we go. It's called Omarla. Omarala. By the original version is by Nursel Ertekin. Your hair smells like morning. Your moss green eyes, the spark of fire. He burns all the verses in the heart of a Nabi. Oh, Mala, your beauty writes epic. People presented, people presented the high poison. Vine snake with hands and body, you prostrate to the ground. Situation with your innocent beauty. The tree of Lijin is heavy on its sheep, sprinkles the smell of needle flower to your blonde hair. Oh, Marla, hold on, your roots are strong. You are a goddess giving birth to life, the mermaid of the heart with your magical beauty. You are the mother of you. You are the wise one. You are the love of love. You are the compassion. You are the love. Can't get enough of the downs to drink blood in the moonlight, naked in the nude. Your ivory body, your curse remains for hundreds of years. The sun is the sun. The sun is the sun. The sun is dead. Oh, Marla.
All right.
She's calling on a mythical, legendary figure in Turkish history, and we're fine tuning some of the English, and I'm getting a slow history of Turkish culture in the meantime, which is very rich. Because one night in the hills above Istanbul, a poetic guide, we went up to the hilltop above Istanbul, and he gave me stories of the constellations in the sky over Istanbul. And unknown to me, there are as many constellations and stories in the stars in the sky over Istanbul as there is over Greece. So I like that.
Wow,
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's the other poem here. Okay. Here we go. Now this is where, okay. My awareness after 50s. I have no patience for some things anymore, not because I have become a smart person, but because I have reached a point in my life when I don't want to waste my time with the things that make me sad anymore. Words, more criticism of any kind of criticism. I no longer have patience for demands and expectations. I lost my desire to please people who don't like me, to love people who do not like me, and to smile at people who don't smile at me. I don't want to spend a minute on people who lie and want to roll me anymore. I don't want to be in the environment where games, hypocrisy, fraud, and cheap praise abound. I do not tolerate much knowledge and academic intelligence. I also want to be involved in empty rumors. I hate disparities and comparisons. I believe in a world of differences and even contrasts. So I avoid solid and tolerant people. I don't like unfaithfulness and betrayal in friendship. I can't be with people who don't know how to compliment or encourage someone. The exaggerations are boring me. And over everything, I have no patience for anyone who does not deserve my patience.
That says it all.
Wow, doesn't it? Okay, now, I get. Yeah, where are you now, Shell? We went over this. I want to hear it in your lovely Turkish language. Okay, here's the third one now coming up. We did that one already. Hold on here. Where's your third one there, Shell? You miss. Okay, Norcel has been getting increasingly political online in a country, Turkey, that has jailed more journalists than any country in the world, according to records, according to data. And yet, since she joined Angora Poets some months ago, she's coming out with works that have gotten other writers arrested. So this is very, well, intriguing. Every piece has a signature. Every piece has a signature. It is the work of my sea-eyed ATM who saved our country, which Europe calls the sick man from Europe, and death, and gives us a chance to exist in all aspects of life. And Mustafa Kemal Atatürk signature cannot be deleted forever. Long live Republic, and it will live forever. So, Marcel, that was true to your three pieces. Thank you so much when you hear this in the recording. Lovely, just lovely, very poignant. Stay safe, Marcel. Okay, that's the end of the first round. So let's have a minute to chat with one another. And
All right, here we go.
hey, listeners, recording in progress. We're back for round two of Angora Poets World Cafe, and there is 3, 6, 9, 10. 10 for your listening enjoyment, pleasure, and provocation. Okay, so we're going to start off again with our slamming, singing, poeming poet from Harlem, Angoma. Angoma Hill, you're on, babe.
Okay. I thought I'd continue with my trash in the military. Here we go. They say there are no atheists in foxholes. Perhaps only the devil wages war, but you won't see him fighting one. Instead, he sends your children misguided and misunderstood, thinking that the battle will give them peace. At least that's what the leaders say. Obviously, they've never been in foxholes. I never trusted presidents. They always seem to get away with murder. Sometimes it is protracted, slow death on the killing ground. The struggle to survive the aftermath of chaos, tattooed on your mind, matching the praying hands on your shoulders. begging protection from the enemy. Have you ever seen the scars of war? A stump dangling from a hospital gown where a leg used to be, a prosthetic hand to sign the check that never comes, waiting for that job you can no longer do from a wheelchair, pain and disillusion, a constant companion, begging spare change your occupation, searching for salvation from your foxhole.
Okay. What was that, Angoma? The devil wages war but never fights it?
The devil wages war, but you won't see him fighting one.
No. Very true. Okay.
Okay.
So,
See.
number 2.
This is called, let me get closer to the mic. This is called The Recruiter. I used to have a handle on life, but then it broke. Now that the heat is on, I gotta wear more sunblock. I started to rob a bank until I realized that Wall Street already did that. It's really a problem since I'm addicted to eating and the fast food joints are floating belly up like dead water bugs after the real kill. I started to join the army, but got turned down when they realized that I could read the small print. It seems they couldn't handle a black man with a worldview, since critical thought is not allowed. They only wanted yes men. I didn't come with instructions. There's no program to be downloaded. It's hard to make a soldier out of someone whose religion is peace. The recruiter said that I should get a haircut. I said there was a problem. I had cool hair, but there were no cool barbers. He asked if I were gay. I told him no, that I'd fallen on hard times and for cash, he could suck my Johnson. He said he would, but was afraid that he'd be dishonorably discharged. He was only there for benefits. He's done 2 tours in Iraq. His brain was suffering depleted uranium rot. He realized he couldn't spend the medals that he got in the pawn shop. Wasn't offering much for a Purple Heart. So he re-upped to sell dreams that turned to nightmares to the dispossessed, though he knew that it was bad karma and his soul could never rest. Said his emotions stepped on a landmine, but the medics sewed him up and said that he'd be fine. They didn't tell him that the truth, he'd be forever blind, or that his acquired condition would destroy his mind. So now he struggles with demon contradictions, a walking time bomb with twisted convictions.
Okay. Now, was that a guitar or a banjo you were playing early in the song?
It's a 3-string cigar box guitar.
Okay, 3 strings. All right. Okay, number 2, Ngoma.
Oh.
Oh,
Two.
oh yeah.
That
You
was
get the
number
follow.
2.
Was that number 2, Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was number 2.
What do I know? Limited storage space. Okay. Thank you, Ngoma. That was dynamite. And once again, bringing on those instruments all the way to the melodica. That was really cool.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was some heavy shit that came out at the beginning of that poem. Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. So now we're going to come over back to Paris and we're going to bring on Bill Strangmeyer. Billy, you're on.
Okay. Quote from an Emmylou Harris song called The Pearl. If there's no heaven, what is this hunger for? This is called Motto. What is the reason and what is the way? Why are we feeling our way through the glare? Waiting in water, gonna bring you there. I will have my reasons, you will have your say. You are the promise I made to the dead, dead of the promises broken and frail. You glow with desire, we're near to the grail that thrills the sweet flesh of your ideal bright head. The clearing I made and the help that I gave should pay off the constables sweating and paid by the saints in their churches of birth and decay. I come here to honor the fools and the brave who fight for the odor of flames in a glade. I moisten and hold them in love for one day.
Mm. Okay.
What imagery's great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the flames in the glade?
Sorry?
What happened to the flames in a glade?
They were worshipped.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, let's see. This is called Poesy, since tonight's Halloween. You have to watch the sky and ground. You have to walk with care. The garden crawls with creepy things and life is never fair. I've often thought of other lands. I've often felt the pull to silken robes and cloth of gold and hate the feel of wool. So this is how my dreams are spent between desire and bitch. The origami master plan is odd, but not too rich. I keep my counsel, guide my course, evangelize the crowd. The contradictions turn me on. I whisper very loud. This public life of whole cloth made is all that keeps me proud. I think and spin, I live and breathe, I think about my cloud. And if I ever make it big, I'll buy myself a farm and spend my time with cows and corn, avoiding strife and harm. But now to bed, to note my dreams, to think of what is not. I'll note it down and keep it safe from every rule they've got. Thank you.
Under the radar, baby. That state of mind keeps you under the radar. All right. Okay, thank you, Billy. And so, okay, so next, let's see who's on the list next. Martin. We're going to go to New York. We're going to go to Long Island, and we're going to hear from Martin Rusick. Martin, you're on.
Yeah, okay. And let me start with, so I'm going to do two translations now. Both are songs. I think I've done both of them here before, but they fit the theme. Oh, we lost Angora. Oh, well. So the first one is from the 60s. It's by the Czech poet, songwriter, I'll write his name, Karel Kryl. Those of you who heard me before know that I'm obsessed with him. It's called the Song of the Unknown Soldier. And starts with a press release. Both delegations then played wreaths on the tomb of the unknown soldier. And what does the unknown soldier say? First the claque and the families follow with arms full of bouquets, suits in black and the hero's brave widow, her lover on display. Flowers in hand, the mourning armbands stare while wishing they could leave, the dance hall scent still clinging to their hair as they pretend to grieve. Why are you here staring? Just go you know where. You think that I'm waiting as if I could care. Why are you here gawking? Fuck off and go home. This granite, this talking. You do it for whom? When now and then the big men seem to feel they need to make a show, it's such a pain pretending that it's real, but then the tears won't flow. Stumbling, they rise and motion to the band to play some lousy tune. They dab dry eyes as they shake each hand. Flames flicker on the tomb. Why are you here gawking? Your sighs are a joke. You think that I fucking was hoping to croak? We're so sick of the brass, all ironed and creased. Stick your flags up his ass. I wanted a priest. I feel the best when the yowling cats come here. The nights seem shorter then. They play or rest and don't ever come near those men who shoot at men. Thinly meowing and serving no heroes, they sing beneath the moon. Never bowing, they carry no wreaths to the unknown soldier's tomb. How much did they pay you for this great idea? Better be with your whores, just get out of here. Did you say that I'd go again to be true and gladly you think so? Fuck you, yeah, fuck you.
That man's got an opinion.
And here's, I'll play just the first verse and first refrain so you have a sense of how it sounds.
Zpráva z tisku. Obě delegace položily pak věnce na hrob neznámého vojína. A co na to neznámý vojín? V čele klaka, pak ctnostné rodiny a náruč chryzantem. Černá saka a žena hrdiny pod paží s amantem. Kytky v dlaních a pásky smuteční civítu před branou. Ulpěl na nich pak síně taneční s bolestí sehranou. Co tady čumíte, vlezte mi někam, co pak si myslíte, že na to čekám? Co tady civíte, táhněte domů, pomníky stavíte, prosím vás komu?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was.
Thank you, Martin.
Sounds Mexican.
Pardon?
I said it sounds Mexican.
Well, I think he was trying, the notation on the music is that it's supposed to be something a little bit like a tango, played like a little bit like a tango.
They normally like using those stuff in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. And then the second one, to end on a more uplifting note, is a revolutionary song from the, I don't remember, I guess from the early 30s. it's by, there were three guys who had a political cabaret, and one was the composer. He was a very talented jazz composer. His name was, I'll write their names in the chat again. His name was Yaroslav Ježek. And the writers were Jiří Voskovec and Jan Verich. So if you want to look them up, it's all on Wikipedia. There's lots of articles about them and lots of YouTube links if you're interested. Anyway, they wrote these plays in their cabaret, and plays always had some sort of a theme. And this one was based on François Villon, the French poet. And in particular, this song refers to a famous line in his Little Testament, where he describes which actually I referred to in my earlier poem, the one from the priest to the nuns, which refers to hunger is driving the wolves out of the woods into the cities. And so that's kind of the theme. The poem is called Hey Royal Highness, and it's kind of a little bit like Dylan's The Times They Are Changing, except it was written in the 30s. Hey Royal Highness, we've got a few questions for all you learned persons, all you great professors with doctorates and books. Why should just the ragged poor be packed into prisons when among the rich there are plenty enough crooks? If the king could see us, the poor, he might try to explain the reason why. Hey, Royal Highness, don't be lazy. Put on rags, go without police. You'll see our wretched lives aren't easy. The grime and stink will drive you crazy. Nevermore will you sleep in peace. And all you well-connected nobles, come here and see our neighborhoods. For you can blame no one but yourselves when famine changes good men to thieves and drive the wolves out of the woods. You think that we are only rabble, that we are nothing you need fear, but one day you'll turn pale and tremble when your windows shake and you hear, hey, you fat cats and greedy nobles, it's time we've come to get our due. Gentlemen, blame no one but yourselves when famine changes men into wolves and hunger leads us against you.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I'll do the same thing, give you a sample of it, fade it out after a while.
Proč jenom chudák trhan patří do žaláře? Vždyť mezi boháči jsou taky podpory. Kdyby nás chudáky lépe znal pan král, snad by nám odpověď dal. Hej, pane králi, nebuď líný, vem hadry a jdi mezi lid. Poznáš, co je živořit z zimy, uvidíš na den tolik špíny, do smrti nebudeš mít klid. A vůbec velkou zmání.
Okay. Okay, Martin, thank you.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
like Brecht and Weil.
Yeah, it definitely, there's a relation there. I don't know which way the influence went. They got, I mean, the origin was a bit different. They started with just comedy and then became more political. They started in the 20s. Ježek, I mean, Ježek, I think, I don't know if he was influenced by Weil. He was a very interesting, he was one of the first European musicians who really took jazz seriously. He had a jazz orchestra where he insisted that all the musicians were professional, skilled musicians. And he also wrote some classical music. Some people sort of compared him a bit to Gershwin. I know Stravinsky supposedly had a very high opinion of him. He died because of, obviously for the political reasons, they weren't Jewish, but for their political reasons, they had to go into exile during the war. And so they came to the US, and Ježek died in the US. He was sick all of his life.
Wow, too bad. Well, okay, Martin, thank you. And for giving us some historical testimony along the way. Thank you. Okay, and now we're going to go stateside. We're going to stay stateside, and we're going to bring on Prince McNally. Hello, Prince.
Hey, Mo, I want to defer to Amira Shabazz.
Well, we want to have you both on, so it's not a question of one sacrificing for the other.
Right. No, I mean, I'll just switch places with her, if that's okay.
Oh, well, all right. Well, welcome, Amira. How are you?
Hi, peace, everybody. Everybody
And-
have a good evening here. Everything's been wonderful since I've joined. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been enlightening, heartening, and provocative.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Well, welcome to Angora Poets. This is your first time, and it's in our character to welcome a first timer. So everybody, welcome Amira. Hello, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Send out the welcomes.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everyone. So what are the rules?
Hi.
Hi, Caroline. What are the rules before I read?
2 poems in the second round.
Okay. All right. So I'm ready. The first poem is for my son. This is not our legacy. 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 Should you live or should you die? No tears from these eyes shall cry. I know legacies. I bent at towering, bending trees, resistant to my spreading legs, birthing you in tough mud. So your melanin clung, smeared and captured spaces left bright by sun, untouched. You, my son, I breathed into your soul, strength and breath and life and legacies of short existences, while ancestors hold you down, holding you not to drown in this life. They call them kings, yet they strangle them with rings, and the streets grab your ankles as you track through jungles just to make it home. The hunters draw their bows, striking limbs and piercing hearts through shouts of Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. But you matter to me. That color passed down legacies of Blackness, my favorite color it used to be. I fold my black dress neatly stroked with soft cushions on calloused hands, holding or folding my palms in prayer, matching garments with veils, waiting to cover wells. Your color be white so the angels can find you and carry you through the night. My eyes don't close. They have no right as long as you are out there. Black mothers, your sons, through tats and war scars, their eyes don't mutter your love. Don't mutter your love. Send them forth and above. They deserve life. Legacies torn, legacies torn, legacies. You cannot have my king. I refuse songs of sorrow to sing. Son, if you make it not through the valley, fear not. I stand till it's at the rally. Spear in hand, trigger on spot. No fear in my heart. I planned this for some time now. This land will give back what I claim to be mine. You, my son, are a child of God, deserving love, life, and victory. So no, should you live past me or should you die before? I am prepared. spear in hand to give you life for the freedom fighters.
Yes, yes.
Welcome, all
Beautiful.
right. Welcome
Wonderful.
on
Yes,
board, America.
one, yes.
Another Black parent. So no, but I mean, who's a key preoccupation is planning, supervising, and caring to keep their son alive.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Yes.
So
Okay, number 2, please.
number 2. Down, 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 where people throw down their crowns. Down through the broadened cobbled roads, now covered with smooth asphalt, with spaces between bricks layered around the city. Brick City lives between the rows of Black and brown faces whose mamas have always been here, blooming weeds into roses which rise with thickness on towers of concrete. Through drum beats, Ngoma hupika drum beats, and swaying hips, keeping rhythm with slide to the left and slide to the right. Cha-cha real smooth now. Somebody's baby is clapping it, twerking it in an unqueenly mannerism, 'cause somebody told her baby girls move like that to resurrect kings. Mamba, salsa, aye, exotic moves into whatever your freedom is. But remember, music and prayer are freedom chants, freedom prayers. Choose yours, I choose both. Be seductive, slide your tongue from the left to the right, missing the magic of your hips' delight. Still mama's boys under darkened lights, seductive the rhythm, forget. No, don't forget, you are from molasses and sugar cane and tobacco and gold and sand and red seas with red sunsets, missing red blood of kin from across oceans deep. Black molasses ain't cheap, baby. Move those colossal hips, missing no beats. Make them forget. And when they remember, how sweet the taste. Make rhythms beat where the V of the hips meet, melting into blood sweat. Ooze the sweetness of that blood, black, brown, and red, between the rows of Black and brown faces. Cheeks slap beats intensified, picking toes between mamba, salsa, Congo drum, drums that beat thump, 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 thump. Her heartbeat is native to places long forgotten as she jumps and wiggles through cobblestone covered with asphalt. The streets of home. Before her though, the Congo band thumps and calls her home to righteousness. A bombastic conga, bongos, maracas. She be of African night sweats for raha joy, that kind of Swahili joy. You, Yakavita sexy, Black as some nights will be. Sing them songs. You be Jabali strong. You be strong. Come, let the earth hold you close once again. But remembrance to your fitra, your natural essence. Come, bring your beautiful Shenga string of beads. Your Shenga, we can wrap ourselves in them. The crystals will make us love again ourselves down this broadened Congo, lost asphalt streets. Hips will call you. They once cuddled brown rivers running north, it seems, with wiggles, spawn nations through libation. Wherever home be, Africa knows her. Down these streets, she cha-cha slides, her buttocks colliding, causing drum rhythms and beats into hearts. Boogie down, brown, Black and queens, make it sweet. Our roots go deep into weeds that bloom from concrete cracks of cobblestone, now asphalt's covered over, swaying and bumping until hips and thighs meet the Gora, South African dance drum beat. And every soul begs the heart to remember it's tough down these dear concrete cracked of cobblestone streets, massacring our daughters' crowns daily on repeat.
Very nice. All right, a celebration. Toi Toi, Toi Toi. In South Africa, when people get up to dance, whether it's for protesting or to celebrate, they get into a big swell of dance and noise, and it's called Toi Toi. You reminded me of Toi Toi.
I'm
Okay.
adding that. I'm adding that, Mo.
Toi Toi. Yeah, check it out.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and welcome on board. You're invited to come back, Amira. Very nice. Next week you come back. Okay, now we will move over to our friend here, Prince, calling on Prince.
Okay. When driving while Black becomes a moving violation. In today's America, a young Black male driving an expensive car gets pulled over by the cops for a moving violation. As the officer approaches the vehicle, his hands on his gun, the young man's palms become sweaty. Breathing a heavy sigh, he nervously grips the steering wheel, takes a deep, long breath. For fear it may very well be his last. For fear he may not walk away from this encounter unscathed. For fear he may not see his mama or his family again. For fear he'll be shot by the officer accused of going for a gun while reaching for his car registration. For fear he may not reach the age of 25 under current conditions. For fear he may be mistaken for another suspect fitting his description. Young Black male, any nigger will do. Approach with caution, assumed armed and extremely dangerous. For fear he may make a sudden harmless gesture, causing the officer to fear for their lives, thereby taking his. For fear his chest may be mistaken for a bullseye. For fear his back may be mistaken for a bullseye. For fear the officer may confuse her yellow stun gun with the Black 9mm hanging from her waist. For fear he may be falsely arrested and detained overnight, only to be found hanging from a noose in his cell the following morning. For fear he'll be placed in an illegal chokehold, dying of asphyxiation. For fear the officer may blatantly ignore his plea for air, while the officer blatantly denies his humanity, while the officer blatantly denies his civil rights, while the officer denies his right to exist, his right knee inexplicably affixed to his larynx for nearly 9 minutes, causing him to choke on his mucus, compelling those who generally remain silent to stand up and raise their voices. In a kinder, gentler America, a young white male driving an expensive car gets pulled over by the cops for a moving violation. As the officer approaches the vehicle with a pad in hand, the young man's palms become sweaty. Breathing a heavy sigh, he nervously grips the steering wheel, takes a deep, long breath. For fear his parents may ground him if he gets a ticket.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Well, that's a lot. Thank you, Prince. Thank you.
Real.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
real.
Thank you.
Everyday fear.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Woof. Next on our list is Carolina. Signorina Carolina.
J'ai oublié de rallumer mon micro du coup. Well, let's begin with a poem in French. It's a poem we wrote at three poets of the collective I'm part of, and it was because in France there is a new well, a lot of feminine poets wrote about their pussy, and a lot of poets, well, some friends during the summer began to think about writing about their dick. So one of the poets of my collective wrote a poem about his dick, and I told him, well, what about the other, well, the rest of the entire body? Because the desire is everywhere of the body, not only in pussies and dicks. So we wrote a poem, had three poets about that. So this is a poem about sensitive zones of body. À suivre, and it's in French, sorry. Comme trace une fourche dans les blés, je passe mes doigts dans tes cheveux. Je masse ta nuque parsemée qu'on s'enlace, jolie, je le veux. Déjà, petit écolier, ton cou m'attirait, et de ma langue de chat, j'ai tant voulu te laper. Savoir qu'au bout, quand son pied repose tendu par un voile d'épiderme, les globes de chair tant vénérés par mes nuits poissons de sperme. Gardant en main la chaleur du cordon, même quand tu portes ma chemise Pierre Cardin, il faut que j'en compte des séries de moutons pour frémir sans jouir jusqu'au petit matin. Je compte les lattes du sommier, une à une, deux à deux, je sens ta chaleur qui se déploie et réveille mes sens. C'est comme pour l'ours blanc, moins j'y pense, plus j'y pense. À lui compter les poils de museau, je ne dors pas. Toi, ça te fait une belle jambe que j'épelle mes rêves dans des yambes où souvent mes soucis s'enfouissent sous les arches de tes cuisses. Sur ma pellicule s'impriment des formes et en boucle ondulent ces parfums que tes cheveux diffusent sous l'orme où tu me dis que je fus importun. Je n'aimais pas la menthe, et tu en mâchouillais, tu récitais des vers, je me trouvais pâteau de mes mots sonnets quelconques, les tiens bien trop mielleux, pas besoin de discours quand on est amoureux. J'aurais beau t'enrober de mes mains baladeuses, te palper dans nos danses fiévreuses, j'aurais beau goûter à tous les délices de la sueur, à toutes les positions, jusqu'à point d'heure, je ne saurais jamais si je t'aime, si je ne vois au fond de tes yeux briller deux diadèmes. Tu regardais mes yeux comme pour y trouver de l'or. Moi, je regardais les tiens un peu trop rapprochés. Je te revoyais petit quand c'était moins sérieux. Je te voyais adulte et moi, pas encore prête. Je soupire. J'écoute battre ton cœur, ton souffle. Tu conspires en rythme. Je profite de ces instants paisibles où tu glisses d'un jour à l'autre. Le creux de ton oreille est un refuge douillet pour les heures froides prêtes à se réchauffer. Un doux réconfort pour moi, frisson excitant pour toi, en soufflant un nuage de paillettes derrière ton lobe. Un fil transparent s'est dessiné dans les limbes, descendant dans ton cou, courant le tour du globe, finissant par se déposer finement entre tes jambes. Depuis le riff, je remonte ton épine dorsale et bifurque le long de la côte. Je t'enlace de mémoire. Caresse ta brioche chocolatière du creux de mes reins, tu soupires et enroule ton bras autour de moi, nos deux corps s'accordent. Ne m'entends-tu pas au creux de ton oreille, là où le murmure revêt sa couverture feutrée? J'y ai déposé un souffle et un baiser, un souffle pour l'attention, un baiser pour la passion, deux tendresses de soi émancipant mon ivresse de toi. Ricoche, de fibres en terminaison, hérissant ta peau de fanères à l'écoute. Tes muscles se tendent en éveil, prêts à affronter la perturbation qui s'annonce. Gros coup de vent forcissant 5 à 8. La température grimpe tandis qu'autour, le froid automnal déploie ses atours. La couette glisse. Dans ce demi-sommeil, ma voûte se souvient d'autres courbes velues et charnues. Au contact de ton mollet, dans la pénombre, je te découvre. Ton épaule remplit ma paume tandis que mon pouce caresse ton omoplate et ce léger creux familier. Remontant du bout des lèvres l'arête de ton trapèze, j'ai presque le vertige. Alors, pour ne pas chavirer, je m'accroche à ta poignée d'amour et à ton os iliaque, île bienfaisante entourée de vagues ondulantes de désir. Je soupire. Iliaque, homérique voyage des paluches, comme une sieste crapuleuse à l'estaque arrondie des rondeurs de baudruche. Comme une convergence de suite dans les idées qu'enfle la tempête en l'œil du cyclone, cap imploré, puisage du puits de jade ardemment désiré, en ce matin baigné d'une lumière de cuivre, de ce chef-d'œuvre, j'en suis ivre. À suivre.
Okay, Carolina. Okay, since that was a three-poet collaboration, let that stand for your two poems, a three-poem collaboration, okay?
Okay.
Et merci pour noter bien la potence de la tendresse, the tenderness. Yes, okay. All right, very good. Thank you, Carolina. Okay, and next we are going to move on to come back. We're going to stay in Paris, don't you know? And we're going to bring on Jack Cooper. Jack.
I thought Benedicta was next, actually.
Actually, your name is next, and Benedicta is after you.
Benedicta is eating. I'm waiting for Jack.
Okay, Jack, you're being called on.
Okay, all right, here I am. So I have a short poem. This dates from my time in Costa Rica. It's called Tropic. The recurrent image of a palm leaf lying shed, the narrow cup where it receives, could hold, and has what we have to give. I dream of this, our pleasures widening, expanded to a point of ecstatic, done, then said.
Done, then said, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, and then sorry, yeah.
No, I was going to say, and then if you like, your second poem.
Yes, it's called Vampire. It's for Halloween. And the vampire is spelled V-A-M-P-Y-R. Vampire. I'm already waiting when you arrive. Your key scraping at the lock, beginning of the world. An incandescence deep in the heart, far in the darkness of the corridor, setting all with a bolt to motion. I lie on the floor and you return, hesitant and nearer. Our first glance as you appear in the doorway, timidly, restored from the haze, out of memory, back to flesh and blood. Oh, my sweet. Gradually, shyly, you come to me.
Nearer, oh nearer, here at last, where I am forgiven. I roam through the night, lost in heaven, ending up in love with you as each dawn slowly breaks, putting my need to flight, my shame left on the ground. Some nights I feel so afraid.
Bravo, bravo.
Right, vampire.
Mm.
Let's hear it from Rome.
Passionate Jack it is.
Say
Is
what,
that
Benedict?
Benedicta?
I said passionate Jack it is for you.
Ah,
You're always passionate about your poems, and that's a plus.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, let's hear it for romanticism. We certainly have our despair in the world, and it's good that we hold on to our romanticism. Has been expressed through the evening as well. That's great. Thank you, Jack.
Pleasure.
Okay, now let's go to Accra. Let's go to Benedicta Bemoa in Accra, in Ghana.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey now.
Okay, so it's just going to be two monocules as usual. So the first one, an obliged paraphrase, dosed in inclined curiosity. I take it again.
Please.
An obliged paraphrase, dosed in inclined curiosity.
Okay. And was it I didn't get that one word. I'm a paraphrase. Wait.
Yes, that's a paraphrase, to rephrase.
Oh, okay. All right. And your next one?
And the second one is the vague truces of the past. I take it again, the vague truces of the past. That will be all for the second round.
All righty. Well, that'll be very nice. Thank you, Benedicta. And I'm glad your signal is holding up tonight. That's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, it is a pleasure. And now, may we hear from Lydia?
Really?
Really?
Tonight, I'm way off my game. Anyway, okay, so I'll do one. I wasn't gonna.
You can do
Okay.
two if you like, Lydia. You know that.
Oh, okay. Well, this one is as per James Baldwin's "I Am Not Your Negro," and it's I am neither the mammy, the Negro, or the nigger. Born out of the womb of a queen, my skin deflects and reject any who may assail. By those who suffer from what they say, mental illness, racism. Black men and women assassinated, berated, celebrated. July 4th picnics under the very trees that hung bodies. Disfigured souvenirs, trinkets of fetuses cut from the womb and castrated phalluses. Such wicked hatred of human beings. So this is the American dream, where there is liquored up lynch mobs and no sense of remorse. And still we protest with peace and love in our hearts, of course, to make some sense out of insanity and all the tears and cries can't describe, or even at times articulate such hate. We keep on keeping on, just like before, marching, keep on protesting, hope for better days, and even now still burying our dead. We who suffer from another acronym, PTSS, the post-traumatic slave syndrome. We are nomads, no real place to call our home. Once again, it's nigger time, and hang that coon high in the tree time like Miller time, America's pastime, America's apartheid. Living in a country that ratified domestic terrorism, how long for our reparations? How long? Already decades, still not paid. And where's the justice stolen and sold from Africa and brutalized by countries' barbaric behavior, the presidents whose turncoat for election votes, preservation of Confederacy, where welfare is by no means reparation for me or any of us, refusing all excuses for America's apartheid, with the postcards glorified America's genocide, where a Maripol anti-lynching poem, Bitter Fruit, brought to light the plight of Blacks in America, the shame and pain, and blessed by the sovereign Billy's voice, unforgiven sorrow, and crowned her a living lyric, where it bent and broke notes as those emotional whips, swiping injustice of the thousands of bodies lynched and draped in desperation, a stain forever on America's conscience. So America, I want to know, how does your conscience sleep?
From assassination to celebration. That is so right about the schizophrenic character of white America. They're going to assassinate and pick a few to celebrate. And then they how do they sleep? They're going to feel fine, obviously.
Yes, yes, obviously.
Okay. So number 2, Lydia.
Really, okay, so number 2 is just a simple one. I'll fold an ocular work of art, formless splendor and deeply pure. Caught me slide creeping, sniffing, scented under your armpits, shivering under the nape of your neck, and feeling your hair. Acknowledge this fondle. I can barely stop. I can barely breathe, because I want you to smother this swan's noise. Oh, yes, straight flow me into stray horns, lotus, the beauty of the bloom. In the summertime, you are this woman's regeneration and continue to keep me flowing. You're pushing into the firmness of my soul. You're nearing the throat. You swallow, I follow, kissing your Adam's apple and holding its flea movements up and down with my tongue, chase affixing these Negro legs coiling around your waist. And I cry out to you at night, come night priest, bury me inside the fabric of your skin with the petroleum oil and warmed by the fleshly urns burn. We are the sweet possession in the night.
Whoa. Let's hear it for intimacy romancing. Wow. No middle ground in tonight's reading. That is so cool. Ain't no middle ground here. No milk toast tonight, folks. Sorry.
No milk toast.
No milk toast tonight, folks. Thank you, Lydia. And now we're down to the last poet, which is me. And like some of the rest of you, I have decided to read 2 poems because they've been influenced by poems read by some of you earlier. And so while Jack was in Costa Rica and San Jose, I spent time in Nicaragua during the Sandinista struggle to free that nation from the bonds of American colonialism. And so I write this metaphorical poem. I think most of you may know a Semocista was the name of the right-wing neo-fascist followers of the dictator Antonio Somoza, who was overthrown. So that word is in here, Semocista. And the second word is called gallo. And gallo simply means rooster or cock. Okay. This is called El Semocista and the Martyr.
Mo, could you come a little closer?
Okay, I'll come a little closer. All right. Okay. El Semocista and the Martyr. El gallo. Wait a minute. El gallo wears glasses tonight. Okay, here we go. Hand type this one. El gallo, grand rooster, gold plumage, crimson crown, haunch on power thighs, razor talons curled and cocked, bayonet beak fixed in position, steady balance against winds of coming storm on widespread fantail feathers, sharp focus of onyx eyes nervously fixed on everything that moves in his domain. He springs for the little brown chicken, frozen in fear, unable to yield the onslaught. She is pecked mercilessly about the neck and breast. She must submit to his sadistic whim and pleasure. Face pressed to the dust, she cries to a passing sparrow overhead. Hear me tell them all. I will gnaw at his ankles until he falls to the dust. No more cock in the barnyard. And since we were writing about neighborhoods, I'm gonna write about mine here in Pittsburgh. And poem I wrote out my bedroom window to looking across the street to the vacant lot. Y'all know about vacant lots. Playgrounds.
Mo, again closer.
Do you have bad ears, Martin? Okay, playgrounds. Here we go. This is called Fisherman and Pool Sharks. On the corner of an avenue intersected by a street, in the bowels of this ghetto wasteland, young boys huddle in the shadows of young men in large numbers, swelling noise, before a small and shrinking pool, its grime gray opaque surface smooth like skin of a polished 8-ball. Leaning into a razor-edged hop, it bites at the neck and claws at the ears. They cast their tired nets, frilled and frayed again and again in destitute waters, thrown back empty like yesterday. The young boys laugh and stomp their feet, young men cut and down the instant laughter wraps its anger. Old man sitting on a nearby stoop, black walk down.
What, Mo? Mo, stop. We can't hear you.
Can you not hear me, people?
You faded out.
Okay, I'll do it again. All right, okay. The bad microphone here. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's good.
On a corner of an avenue, intersected by a street, in the bowels of this ghetto wasteland, young boys huddle in the shadows of young men, in large numbers, swelling noise, before a small and shrinking pool, its ground surface.
No, Mo, I don't know. I'm sorry.
What the fuck, man?
I'm sorry.
What?
It's technical.
Forget the
stuff.
poem. I'm done. I'm fucking done. Anyway, okay, so thanks for letting me share the one poem that came across, and I'm satisfied with that. So, you know, what can I say? I must have a low-grade technology here. It blocks the mic. It blocks the microphone. So that's all right.
I'm really
I
sorry.
don't care. No, I'm glad you mentioned it. You know, would have just been a waste of time. It's about paper in front of this. On the keyboard, it seems to block. I don't know where the microphone is hidden on this because it doesn't show on the surface.
I suspect the microphone is more, we only see half your face, and it seems that when we see
Right.
all of your face, we hear you better.
Right.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to try this one more time with all my face. Okay. Where'd it go? Okay, here we go. Okay, now we're going to try and maneuver this way. Fishermen and pool sharks on a corner of an avenue intersected by a street in the bowels of this ghetto wasteland. Young boys huddle in the shadows of young men in large numbers, swelling noise, before a small and shrinking pool, its ground gray opaque surface smooth like skin of a polished apple. Leaning into a razor-edged talk, it bites at the neck, claws at the ears, that they cast their tired nets, thrilled and frayed, again and again in destitute waters, thrown back empty like yesterday. Young boys laugh and stomp their feet, and young men curse and bow replete. Innocent laughter, righteous anger, old man sitting on a nearby stoop, trudge black pot melody, says these days carry humbugs, and swarms come with landlords, and you boys just wasting your time. Young buck rolling defiant shots. It's 7:11. It's 7:11 after watering the wine, and all start casting one more time. Hours pass, hawks still biting. A lover strolls, sings for her man. All gets calm, a downcast purple.
I heard you, Mo.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll try not to bury this hidden microphone in the
Yeah,
future.
but you know, it gave your voice a nice texture. It's different. It's nice.
Okay.
The
Well,
effect
this
was
was,
good.
oh,
At the end,
thank
it
you.
was good.
It's embarrassing when you have to stop
Listen to
with
that after. For Halloween, it's great. Sounds deeply.
you're
Your
being
voice
kind. Thank
came
you for
out.
being kind, Caroline. Next week you can read 3 poems in the second round. Okay. Well, this has been a great night, folks. And well, like I said, we didn't have any middle ground tonight, and that's rather interesting. And by middle ground, I mean we went from the deep-seated truth, speaking truth to power and about ourselves, to some dazzling, intimate romantic verse. It was very, very nice. Celebrating ourselves and our loved ones and protecting the care, the honor, and the culture of our families. Yeah, yeah. That's a whole night. That is a whole night. So and I want to thank Angoma and Bill Strangmeyer, and I want to thank Martin. I want to thank Prince and Caroline and Benedicta and Jack and Claire and Amira. You've all been so good.
Always welcome.
Yes, thank you.
We thank
Welcome,
you.
sir.
You made this happen. Good
Did we
night.
do okay?
Good night.
Did we do okay, Benedicta?
See you in your dreams.
You too. So, as we do, and Amira, welcome to your first time with Angora Poets. You certainly resonate with the individual and collective spirit of this group.
Yes, yes,
Definitely. Beautiful.
indeed.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, and as I do, I will say a few on my news feed. I will tag you all, and I will say a few things about tonight because there's so much going on. I just saying a few things would be all right, and then I will post a song in some way that reflects, our character tonight in part and parcel, and that's what I'm going to do. And I want to say, everybody, thank everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Peace and wellness, everybody. Love, peace, and wellness.
Bye.
Bye now.
Good night, Martin.
Have a good night.
Good night, Lydia. Good
Carrie,
night, Caroline.
Halloween night.
Caroline, I thought you were leaving.